It is my favorite day of the week. It is Friday, and I don't know, something about Friday air just smells amazing to me. We're going to get started. Make sure you repeat our I can statement after myself. I can subtract two-digit numbers using base 10 blocks and single cubes. So yesterday we were able to understand what two-digit numbers meant. That just means that I'm going to have two numbers that have two digits in them. And today, the operation that we're using, and operation is just a fancy word of saying if we're going to add or subtract. So the operation that we're using is subtraction. So we're going to be subtracting today. Now I want to ask our critical question. Why is it important for us to draw a rectangle-based cube versus just a line for our base 10 blocks? We're going to break that question down using an example. If I were to have, now remember, this is an example. This is not going to have two-digit numbers, so I don't want us to get confused. But if I was to have something like this, 10 minus 4, and I wanted to draw a picture to show this. If I had a base 10 drawn like that, can I subtract 4 from this? No, because I don't know where the 1 is, I don't know where the 2 is, I don't know where the 10 is. But if I were to do this, I'm going to count them. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can see that I have 10 cubes in here. If I wanted to take 4 away, that means that I will put a X on 4 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. How many are left over without X's in them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the reason why myself, Ms. Barry, Ms. Rodriguez, Ms. Hughes, Mr. Anthony, we want you drawing a rectangular base 10 block is because it helps you when we need to subtract using this base 10 block. Keep that in mind. So today what we're doing is we are using two-digit numbers using base 10 blocks and single blocks to help us subtract. So I want to throw some examples on the board, but before we get there, let's make sure that we remember what a two-digit number is. And a two-digit number is a number that has 2 digits. Awesome job. And the operation, or the fancy word of saying if we're adding or subtracting, the operation that we're using today is subtraction. And when we do subtraction, our formula, or the way that we subtract, is the whole minus a part equals the difference. All right, let's jump right into it today. It is Friday, and you guys have been crushing it all week. We've been building on our knowledge, and today we're going to challenge you with some subtraction. We have 35 minus 23. Our first step is always going to be the same thing. Step number 1 is draw our picture. So I'm going to draw my picture. How many 10s does 35 have? 3 10s. Am I going to draw a little squiggly line like this? No, I'm not. I'm draw my rectangle. 1, 2, 3. This shows me 3 10s. How many 1s does 35 have? 5 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to come over, and when I'm doing subtraction, this is where it changes. So step 1 is draw my picture. When we did addition, we needed to draw 2 pictures. But when we're doing subtraction, are we drawing 2 pictures? No, we're drawing 1 picture, and we're taking away from that 1 picture. So do it with me. We are taking away from that 1 picture. So now this is where it gets interesting. We're going to follow kind of the same process. But instead of drawing my 10s or drawing my 1s, I'm going to take them away from what I've already drawn. So we have 35 minus 23. Well, I know that in the number 23, I have how many tens? 2 tens. I know that in the number 23, I have how many tens? Yes, 2 tens. So instead of drawing those 2 tens, I'm actually going to, yes, X out 2 tens from here. 1, 2. I also know that I have 3 ones. Am I going to draw 3 more ones, or am I going to X 3 ones out from here? Yes, I'm going to X them out from here. 1, 2, 3. So I crossed out 2 tens and crossed out 3 ones. Now I'm going to count what's left over and put it as my answer. So we have 10. Now I'm done with my 10, so I'm counting by ones. 11, 12. I have 12 as my answer. The way that I'm going to check my work is actually the same as when I did addition. It's saying that I have 1 10 and 2 ones. Let me see if this is right. I have 1 10 here. I'm done with my 10, so my 10's checked out. And then it says I have 2 ones. So I have 1, 2. I have 2 ones. It checked out. The difference between addition and subtraction is that when we add, we need to draw 2 pictures because we're making the number greater. But when we subtract, we only draw 1 picture for the first number, and then the second number tells us how many we are taking away. Let's do another example. You guys are doing a great job. Now I want to do 69 minus 32. What is that going to equal? So I want to lay out our steps. Step number 1 is to draw our picture. And we draw a picture for the first number. Step number 2 is use our second number to take away from our first number. Step number 3 is solve. And step number 4 is check. So let's do those 4 steps. Step number 1 is draw a picture. Well, how many tens are in the number 69? 6 tens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And how many ones? 9 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ones. We did step number 1, which was draw a picture. Step number 2 is use our second number to take away from our first number. So in step number 2, it's telling us that we're going to take away how many tens? 3 tens. So let me cross those out. 1, 2, 3. How many ones am I going to take away? Yes, 2 ones. 1, 2. Now I'm going to solve my subtraction sentence. I have 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. 37 is my, and my last step, step number 4, is to check my work. So I check my work by making sure that my picture or whatever is left equals my answer. So I'm saying that I have 3 tens. Well, let's count. 1, 2, 3. I don't count these tens because they have X's on them. I only count the tens that don't have X's on them. Same thing with my ones. I don't count the ones with X's on them. I only count the ones that are single. So I have 3 tens that are left over. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ones. 3 tens, 7 ones. It checks out. Today when you guys go to do your work, make sure that you use this video as a reference. Use our 4 steps to solve our subtraction. Remember, with subtraction only, we draw 1 picture and then we take away from that picture. Say it with me. We draw And then awesome. You guys have been crushing it. If you need to rewatch this video to help you remember, please do so. Churn in your work today to see who's going to get those shout outs next week. Enjoy your weekend. So proud of each and every one of you. Bye, my friends.